Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer. Served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Charlie Husen, other side of the glass, doing Charlie Husen things, running YouTube, being in charge of that. When he started here, he did not realize that he was going to have to produce and direct video and use Photoshop and all this other stuff that came along with it, on top of co-hosting the show, answering phones, putting up podcasts, and doing everything else that Charlie Husen does. You really are an amazing person, Charlie.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You do such a great job.
I wouldn't say I didn't expect it, but, it definitely all came at once for sure.
I didn't expect it. I mean, the first 20 years or whatever of this station, we were never on video or YouTube. While everybody else was doing it, we were all like, no, we're not doing it.
Now you got to put on your makeup every day, Sparky.
And now all of a sudden, now last month, now we're on YouTube. You can go find us there at The Fan Milwaukee. Shorts, videos, all of our local shows are streamed live, including the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 90-minute edition of that coming up tonight, starting at 5 o'clock with Tommy Wirtz, and then right back on the air again tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow, matter of fact, during that afternoon game, Charlie Husen, we'll have inning-by-inning reports from our guy Mitch Thunder Nellis. He'll be at the game covering the game. Brewers and Cubs tomorrow afternoon for that 1 o'clock tilt. That is going to be an amazing pitching matchup. Imanaga against Freddie Peralta tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully, Brewers will be in line. Well, no matter what happens, it's a positive. It's a big game either way. Thunder and I were talking about this earlier. Like, if they lose tonight, the Brewers lose tonight, you're going for a win of the series. If the Brewers win tonight, you're going for a sweep of the series, which, again, if you win tonight and beat Colin Ray with Priester on the mound, which could happen, right? Could happen. You get to tomorrow, a sweep versus 2 out of 3. That's a 2-game difference. You're 3 up or 1 up. Huge difference coming up tomorrow if the Brewers can figure out a way to win tonight, Charlie.
That would be a really big deal for this Brewers team and for the confidence of that Cubs team. They're a team that, again, like I said, really relies on each other and the momentum of each other to get going. And if they get down, everybody gets down. That could be detrimental for them.
Yeah, we will see how this continues to play out here. All right, let's talk about Packers training camp, because there's stuff we got to get to. Brian Gutekunst talked earlier today as well. We'll get to that at 4 o'clock during the Green and Gold Update, brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So, at training camp practice today, the defense were the ones kind of in control, right? So, you lose your left guard, who had his back flare up again. So, Jordan Morgan gets to come in and play left guard, which left Rasheed Walker at left tackle, okay? Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan, and Zach Tom. That was your 5 that you were out there with. All right. Not a big deal. Everything is fine, right? The problem was they were getting pressure in the backfield. It seemed like, based on play-by-play of all these Packer reporters, kind of consistently, tackles for losses, blowing up plays, and it was becoming a problem. Then Rasheed Walker got into it with a defensive player. LaFleur apparently chewed him out, possibly with expletives, depending on who you're listening to, and sent him running on a lap. And then the other offensive linemen and running backs, I think, went running with him on the lap around the field. And then after that was done, he was still out there walking by himself on the sidelines. So, not really sure what that was all about, but then after practice was done, according to everybody who was there, LaFleur gave him a tongue lashing. The team, not really, they couldn't make out who or what was going on, but gave him a tongue lashing after this was all done. Now, this is the same Matt LaFleur who earlier today in his press conference was talking about the idea of, we're going to see some real football today, right? Day 2, here we go, right? Pads again. Maybe it was a little too real, because guys were getting hit in this thing. Defense was playing well. Now, offensively, Matthew Golden had another great day, right? Another long passes today. I think the last one was like 60 yards, something like that, at the end for Matthew Golden. So that was nice. Jordan Love threw another interception today. Xavier McKinney with kind of a tip drill interception. Apparently they were kind of owning the middle of the field against the offense. LaFleur also not happy earlier today about all the fumbles that have been happening early in camp. I think Tucker Kraft has dropped 2 already and put it on the turf. Folks, he can be mad about the physical play. He can be mad that it's too physical. And we'll find out more about this tomorrow morning as he talks every morning before practice. This is why he should talk after practice, regardless. Because why they do it the day after is so he can calm down a little bit and so he can watch film and have a better idea of what the heck they're going to ask him the next day, right? But this is all positive. Like, don't let anybody talk you into this being negative. Like, Mason Crosby, our guy, is on the air this morning talking about, there should be a skirmish or something. Wait, Hobbs is playing him. Fine, cool, let's go. Bring it on. Who wants a tussle with Hobbs? Cool. Tussle with Rashawn Gary. Tussle with McKinney. Tussle with whoever you want. I really don't care. We have not seen a defense play physical and with an edge like this. I couldn't tell you the last time this early in camp you saw something like this where they were literally bringing the wood against the offense. This is positive. You want this to carry through inter-squad scrimmages with another team. You want this to carry through preseason games with your second and third stringers. You want this to carry into that Lions game and drop dudes in Detroit. That's how Dan Campbell coaches? That's how that dude coaches? He coaches you to what? Bite kneecaps and everything else? That's how he coaches. That's how he got them playing the way he did. A little some of this goes a long, long way. Like, I'm all for this, Charlie. I hope tomorrow they come back out there and they bring it again and LaFleur gets mad again. Just keep bringing it, man. You don't like it? Then you do something about it.
Well, I think part of the reason Dan Campbell is able to coach like that is because
that's his personality.
He can so easily rely on his coordinators, too. And I think in the past, he was so confident in what Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn can do for his team that he really had no worry about
Glenn, another fiery cat, right? Another fiery cat.
But he didn't have to worry about what was really happening schematically with those two sides of the ball. He just had to worry about keeping the team up and keeping the team energized. Matt LaFleur doesn't have that luxury. He's running that offense. And honestly, he's probably keeping a pretty close eye on the defense to some degree, too, because it's Jeff Hafley's second year as a coordinator in the NFL. So stuff like this, yes, it's good for a guy like Dan Campbell because he doesn't really have to worry about how it affects the play on the field. That's Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn's job. And that's why we have to see how it's going to look this season with 2 new coordinators, 2 guys that are a little bit younger, less ready for that system than those 2 guys. And if Campbell has the same kind of success, because if he doesn't, then maybe that's not a good approach. Maybe that's an approach for somebody that has the luxury of having that approach. But I don't think Matt LaFleur has that luxury.
That's the other thing, too, when we talk about this. Jeff Hafley is a former head coach, man. I know it was college. I know Boston College, whatever. But he understands that there's a line, right, that you can get to. Just don't cross it. You can tiptoe over it maybe a little bit. Just don't go head first over the line and really, cross the line. If I'm Matt LaFleur, I do what I do. And when I get back to that locker room, I go to Jeff Hafley. You keep coaching the way you're coaching. This offense has to respond and figure out how to play against physical play. I'm going to defend them out there, but in here, I'm telling you, I want these guys to continue to bring it to test my offense. This is what I want. I want to see this the rest of camp. That's what I'm telling LaFleur. I'm telling Hafley. I'm not trying to tell Hafley to back off and pull back. Hell no. Bring it, Charlie.
There's no reason to. I know that this may get out of hand eventually, but at the same time, like you said, the offense has to respond too. I think if they play with the same kind of intensity or even part of that intensity, then they'll be okay. I also talked about how in training camp and early in the season, the defense just kind of has a natural edge. So we're probably seeing that a little bit too. I know today seemed a little bit more egregious than just a little bit of an edge. It seemed like the defense was kicking their butts. But at the same time, I think the offense is going to get it figured out once they get a little bit more comfortable in the system. I know we keep saying they've been together, they should figure it out, but it's still different. From what we've heard and seen, they're doing a lot of different things on that offense than what we've seen the past 2 years, and it's going to take some time to gel.
It absolutely is going to take some time to gel. Let's go to the Nicolay Law Fan Talk text line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. John and Franklin, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, John?
What's up as the Brewers are kicking some butt, my friend. Loving it. but we're talking about the Packers, and I hear your excitement about the toughness that we're hoping this defense is going to show, and I just caution you, this time of year, Lucy's pulled the football away many a time. And the problem with great plays, by any of these players right now, and I'm taking nothing away from anybody, but the problem is the great defensive plays, that kind of knocks a little bit on, the offense isn't up to snuff. So there's just a lot to be sorted out, and I hope this translates to the real season. Because for me, the real season, and I'm not talking about exhibition football either. I'm talking about when the clock strikes game one of the regular season. And I hope that this team plays with some toughness, because I can't remember the last time the Packers had a defense that really got me going. And boy, I would love to think this one's it.
Game one is the Lions. You better be ready to bring physical football to the field in game one, because if not, the Lions are going to lay the wood to you, and it's not going to end well at the end of the day.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not too worried about the Lions now. I think we've got a good thing going. I just hope that we can translate out of camp without any major injuries, and we can see exactly the pieces that have been put together and how they're going to work. And I'm cautiously optimistic, my friend.
That's fair enough. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I don't know about the cautiously optimistic stuff, or as far as the health stuff goes, because Marshawn Lloyd and Charlie, I think he'll have that in his Charlie's Sounds of the Day coming up. Marshawn Lloyd stuff may not be so great at the end of the day, but we'll see what happens. See, now this is the stuff here. This is what I'm talking about. We should get Ryan Wood on. Ryan Wood, I can't hear the video, so maybe you can pull the video for 4 o'clock or the audio. Jordan Love, this is Ryan Wood writing this. Jordan Love on all the extracurricular nonsense at practice and where he thinks things cross a line. See? He called it nonsense. Now screw that. No, I'm fine with it. Let's go. Obviously, I don't want Jordan Love hurt. I don't want Josh Jacobs hurt, right? I don't want any important guys hurt. Fine, I get that. But to play with an edge and to push you and get you paying attention a little bit more versus, as Gary and Leroy would say, brother-lawing it, I'm not going to hurt you. You're not going to hurt me. We're just going to kind of dance here, all right, and get through this practice together because it's hot out here. We're not trying to get anybody hurt and work up too much sweat and pass out or something. That type of stuff, I don't want that type of stuff. Like that, we're not at that. If that's a veteran team that wins every year, like the Brady Patriots, by all means, right? The Mahomes Chiefs that every year you got a chance, okay. But that's not what this is. This is a younger team that's trying to figure out how to get itself to the next level. And for me, physicality and being more physical than they've been in years past is a great way to get there, Charlie.
It is. I think right now we're in year 3. You have to be past a lot of these technical sides of things. You have to be past learning the playbook fully. Yes, you need to take time to learn the new plays, but it should take a lot shorter of a time for you to get that installed than it has in years past. Now you have to worry about taking those things that you've learned, the technical side of things, the playbook, and playing it at 100 miles per hour. That's the next logical step for this team. And if you can get that down, you can be like the Eagles, like the Chiefs, where they're just kind of doing things on autopilot out there, but they can do it because they're doing it at 100 miles an hour. I think that's where this Packers team has the ability to go, and this is where it starts in the preseason.
This is some of the stuff I'm saying from Andy Herman. Adrian Cooper shooting through offensive linemen, making tackle for losses. It's what he does. Later on, Cooper shoots off the edge for a would-be sack. Inglebar with a great rush. Might have been a sack, but Willis fires, and Omar Brown jumps for it for his second pick of the camp, interception of the camp. Nazir Stackhouse continues to show up with an immediate pressure inside. Hicks came up with a nice catch over the middle. Okay, fine. But again, this is the type of stuff. Xavier McKinney beautifully jumps the ball from Love, tips it off, and makes the juggling pick. Impossible to throw in his area. He's just on a different level at this point. Kalen King with a pick six down on the other side. Couldn't see who the quarterback was, Andy Herman says. Tyron Hopper had another big day today defensively. He's playing a lot more free at linebacker. He was a no-show last year in his rookie year. This year now you're seeing him play and be more effective. Now again, it's early, I understand. Second day full pads, don't overreact, Sparky. But that's just something else to kind of pay attention to. Rashawn Gary immediately shuts down an inside run to Jacobs. Clark in there too. there are things that you look at, and as Charlie knows, I overreact on these day-to-day things in training camp. But when I see the defense playing as well as it is, and it's not just an offensive clinic, I get excited. Wes Hawkwitz, Stackhouse with another second-team tackle period. That's what we want. We want stuff like that. Now, little chippiness in the trenches. Look like Cox and Rashid. LaFleur takes the starting offense off the field, makes non-receivers all run a lamp. Who is there to pick up Rasheed Wallace? Josh Jacobs. Then a little while later, Rasheed Walker continues to take a walk along the sidelines. Either he's being disciplined or taking a long time to cool down. I think it's the former.
I don't know, man. I don't like to see that. I think, yes, you want to see the defense play well, but I think the offensive line's struggling today by the sounds of it. By almost everything that you read sounds like it was a struggle by the offensive line.
But Cox is another one that plays with an edge. He's another one.
If your offensive line's not playing with an edge even early on, then how do you expect to be like the Eagles?
Right.
How do you expect to be like the Chiefs, who their rookie offensive tackle, Josh Simmons, is tearing it up in training camp?
Who wanted him?
You did.
Thank you.
He's going wild. Like, all the videos I see him, he's just a monster.
Yep.
You need to play like that, and that's a guy on a rookie team. But he's playing in a program in the Chiefs that value that a lot, value that tough mindset. And the Packers need to start doing that a little bit more, especially on the offensive line.
Could have been your left tackle for real after Rasheed Walker.
Well, what worries me,
not Morgan, but instead you could have had him.
What also worries me is that we're hearing all this bad stuff about Rasheed Walker having to go on walks and stuff, but we're not hearing any good stuff about Jordan Morgan playing at left tackle or anything, man.
Jordan Morgan was in one-on-ones with Van Ness, and Van Ness beat him multiple times in one-on-ones. That's not a good sign for Morgan.
No,
that's not a good sign for Morgan.
When you have those opportunities to step in for a guy that's struggling a little bit, a guy that's been that starter, you have to put up a couple highlight plays in order to prove that you can be there.
I'm telling you, man, this defense, and again, once we get to team period, I went through Andy Herman's tweets again, saw nothing about Van Ness getting pressure. Not one damn thing. In one-on-ones prior to the team period starting, he's having Jordan Morgan for lunch. So that's wonderful. Take a quick time out. Come back on the other side. Brewers made a trade yesterday for Danny Jansen. There's rumblings of some other stuff going on as well. But really, do you really think they need more? I mean, they beat the Cubs yesterday. They're a game up, best record in the National League. Offensively, they had 3 home runs yesterday. They really need to make more moves. And if so, what do you want? It doesn't appear Eugenio Suarez is going to be that guy. Now, he did multiple scans today because he got hit last night in the game, the third baseman for the D-backs. Everything came back.
Third time since the All-Star break,
Correct.
Including the All-Star game.
Correct. And scans came back today all negative. So he is healthy. He is good. Maybe bruised hand, but fingers. But otherwise, he's good. So he's still on the trade market from the Arizona D-backs. But I haven't seen anybody connecting the Brewers to him outside of Hector Gomez. Nobody else has them involved on Suarez at this point. So we'll talk about that. Your thoughts on getting Danny Jansen for a prospect. Again, a backup catcher. I know. I said on Twitter, throw a party. We'll talk more about that. Coming up next is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Can I just say something that really annoys me? Just really annoys me.
What is it?
I don't know what it is, but I swear to you, when I talk to Kay, okay, and these dumb Bluetooth features in these cars, you can keep them. And I know they're meant to keep us safe and all this other stuff, but I have more issues. Now, again, the minivan we have is like 2011. So it's super old. And maybe that function of the car is like dying or whatever. But literally, just sucking during the last break. I was like, all right, I got to go. I got to get back. And I hear no response, no nothing. Just, I'm looking at my phone like, she's still there. Not hearing me, nothing. I just hang up the phone and come back. Happens all the time, just like how it happens to us on the phone here. Talking to somebody and they're on Bluetooth, and then all of a sudden you hear a door shut, guys getting out of cars, and all that random stuff.
I don't know what to tell you. It's just where the world is today. It's like at the grocery stores, the self-scanner, Sparky. You just got to deal with it.
We were at a grocery store the other night. I'm not going to get into naming names, but we were at a grocery store the other night. It was, what was it? 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night, right? Real late.
Yeah.
There was somebody running a cashier register. We got to go through a cashier register with a human being. And I looked at the girl and I said, this is why I like coming to this store. Because I said another store, they have no human beings running their cash registers after 8 o'clock. I don't go there anymore. I go to where I can have human interaction. And that's truly what it is. I'll go to another store during the day, but once I hit a certain time, and that's normally when I do shopping, then it's like, okay, well, I know there's going to be no human cashiers, so I'm not going there. So I will go somewhere else to do my shopping because I hate those self-service checkouts. And sometimes you get forced into it because you're in a rush and you got no choice. You're going to have to go. So it's just, that's quick as that grocery store is the closest to my house. I know I got a self-checkout, but I need it quick. So I get forced into doing it. But otherwise, I'll go out of my way and drive another 5 to 8 minutes to go somewhere else and pay more money probably than dealing with that nonsense of self-checkouts.
I'm the exact opposite.
Hate them.
If I'm forced to go through like a normal checkout where there's no self-checkout, then I won't go back to that store. There's one grocery store that's around here that they have like a self-checkout and then the person checkout like right next to each other. And no matter if both are empty, I always go to the self-checkout.
I'll tell you right now, if you all want us to bag our own groceries and everything else, then discount the prices if you use the self-checkout. If Charlie's bagging 50 pieces of groceries at one time, 50, 60 pieces of groceries, whatever it may be, if you're going for a week, let's say, and there's no cashiers, then Charlie should get 15% off his total bill if he's got in a bag and scan and do all that himself. If you go through the regular checkout with a cashier and a bagger and all that, then it's full price. If you go through the other one, you got to do it all yourself, then you can have a discount or whatever.
I also don't think it's that much work. I don't know.
I hate them. I hate them because every time I use them, something goes wrong, and then I got to wait for somebody to come over. And guess what? Not only do you have to come over to me, but then 3 other people also have problems with their self-checkouts. So then you got to wait for them to go around and fix everybody else's self-checkouts. It's great. And there's one person trying to run like 6 to 8 of these dumb things. So stupid. Way to go. Now we're off of sports. You totally sidetracked the show.
That was your fault, man.
It's your fault. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on YouTube. Live streaming, got videos there, got shorts there. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff at the Fan Milwaukee. Use the ad symbol at the Fan Milwaukee. All right, so the Brewers make a trade for Danny Jansen. Catcher, he's a backup catcher. Appleton native. You'll hear from Danny Jansen. He's talking to the media. He talked like 45 minutes ago. You'll hear from Danny Jansen coming up at 5 o'clock in the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'd like to tell you that it means something to me that the kid is from Appleton and I should be excited. With all due respect, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that the need that the Brewers needed to fix or needed to fill in order to go to a World Series was backup catcher, I would have said, well, damn, we are unbelievable if backup catcher might be something that costs us a chance at the World Series. Eric Haas, you're the reason we can't finish. You got to go. We got to find somebody better. You're horrible. Stop. Nonsense. First of all, Eric Haas knows the pitching staff. To me, again, I'm not a coach. To me, seems to call a good game. Seems like guys throwing to him. Seems like a good teammate. Maybe he's not. Again, I'm not in the clubhouse like these guys are. Maybe he's not a good teammate. Maybe he's an attitude problem, and that's why they had to get rid of Eric Haas. I don't think so. Literally. Danny Jansen blocks well. Good for him. Danny Jansen's got more home runs than Haas. Well, yeah, but I'm guessing he played more games than Haas has as well. He's also old. Been around for a minute now, has Danny Jansen. He used to be a starting catcher in Major League Baseball at one point. So, sorry. The prospect they traded, whatever. I got, to me, that it wasn't one that I was like, oh my God, they can't trade this guy. Whatever. Baseball America really likes him. He was their defensive second baseman of the year in the minor league system last year when he was at the Timber Rattlers last year. Or no, he was with the Mudcats last year, I think it was. The Mudcats. So, okay, he's got some upside. Maybe he'll end up, working out. Fine. Danny Jansen does absolutely nothing for me. Now, having said that, the question is this. In your mind, do you think they need to make any more moves? And if so, who or what are you looking for to make moves? Because based on everything that a guy like Ken Rosenthal is reporting, is Ryan O'Hearn of the Baltimore Orioles, an all-star, outfielder, first baseman, DH, whatever. He's got like a dozen home runs, right? So you've got him out there. And then relief help seemingly is another one, another position that all of these insiders think the Brewers are going to add to, which you can never have enough relievers. So if you want to go get a reliever to add to the back of this pen, I'm all for it. You'll never hear me complain. If I'm giving my options, I would like it to be somebody that's closing. A closer on a bad team. Give me one of those guys that pitches in high leverage all the time. I'll take one of those guys to put in my pen. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for some long reliever to pitch 3 innings. I want a guy that can come in and lock down an inning. Right? And realistically, you love a guy that can come in and pitch the 8th to allow Uribe to pitch the 7th to get to McGill in the 9th. That's how you would really like to set this up. And then Mears and Koenig, in the 5th, 6th, 7th, or somewhere in that area in order to get you through it. That's what you like. A guy that's a closer where if McGill pitches 2 days in a row and now you got to go somewhere else, you've got a guy that closed games all year to throw into the 9th and let him go pitch in that pressure situation because he's used to it. He's done it. That is what I want, right? Because I've given up on the dream of them actually adding a real bat. I just... Ryan O'Hearn, I guess. But realistically, at this point, Isaac Collins, Frelick, Yelich, Churio. That's good enough. I really am. I really am at fine. Go. Isaac Collins hasn't slowed down. He hasn't slowed down. Could he slow down? Yes. Could he end up flaming out by September and getting tired and whatever? Absolutely could happen. But again, Vaughn, he ain't slowing down either. So when Hoskins comes back, Hoskins is going to be at first or DH, and Vaughn is going to be at first or DH, and then Yelich can go to left field if you want to get both those power bats into the lineup. Once you get into the postseason, both those guys can be first or DH. Yelich can go to left, Churio in center, right field can be Frelick. Collins, you're out of luck. Or rotate Frelick and Collins or whatever you want to do. That's fine. The only positions where... to me right now, you need to look at to add some pop is shortstop and third base. And it doesn't appear right now, outside of one report from Hector Gomez, which I like to believe is true, but nobody else is talking about it. There's no talk about them adding pop on the left side of the infield whatsoever. They're going to go with the lightweights on the left side of the infield, and hopefully defense and pitching can win you a 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 ball game at the end of the day. So I'm just being realistic to the fact that maybe we'll get a pitcher. Because I saw something else earlier today about Ryan O'Hearn. There's 5 teams involved on Ryan O'Hearn. We aren't outbidding anybody on Ryan O'Hearn. Come on. If you don't want to get into competition for Suarez, what makes anybody think he's going to go outbid guys for Ryan O'Hearn? There is no chance. I hope I'm wrong. I do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do something splashy. I don't think it's going to happen. Just give me a closer, put him in the back end of the pen, go along with our backup catcher, and pray to God this offense can continue to play well.
I just find it so hard to believe that with how much you have available, like how could you not go out in the lineup that you just named off and the rotation that you just named off, both in the starters and the bullpen? You left out guys like Blake Perkins and Jake Bowers and Aaron Ashby. Those are all players that should be on the trade block that you should be trying to move on from if they're not going to be a part of this team.
Oh, Bowers might get moved on from if they get O'Hearn.
But like Blake Perkins, sure, too, because he's not in that rotation of players then in that your mind. Or then move on from an Isaac Collins or something else. You have options. You have a minor league system.
That's why Ryan O'Hearn,
players that aren't ever going to touch your system, man.
But see, that's the thing, too. You've got those 5 in the outfield. You've got Vaughn and Hoskins, because Vaughn is legit, it looks like, at first base. And you're going to add a first baseman outfielder. And then if you go, well, he's going to be DH. So now Yelich is in the outfield.
So now you have 5 guys that have to play DH that you have to rotate through. That doesn't make any sense either. Like, you're crazy. This is nuts. There's glaring holes that just go out and make the move. I don't care if it's going to cost you more than what you think he's worth. You have the assets to do that. Why do we need to keep holding on to things that aren't ever going to be a part of this organization truly in the future? I mean, there's so many prospects that we are hugging onto where realistically only 3 or 4 of them is going to work out for this Brewers team. Like, that's why there are so many prospects in any MLB system. So you have to start finding ways to move on. And this is a good baseball team that should be able to compete if you make a couple of the right moves. Don't make dumb moves.
I don't know, man. We'll see what they do. They got 2 days, right? Thursday, we'll be out at State Fair broadcasting. I believe it's northeast corner outside of the Expo building, Wisconsin State Fair. I'll be out there every day from 2 to 5. Mitch Thunder Nellis, Thunder at the Fair. We'll be out there 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day. So he'll go first 11 to 2 in place of Rich Eisen every day, Wisconsin State Fair, Thursday, Friday, and then all of next week. I'll be there 2 to 5. Tommy Wirtz will be out there with the leadoff show on Friday from 4:30 to 5:30. Next Monday and Tuesday, 5 to 6. I'll be out there from 5 to 6 as well as Tommy Wirtz co-hosting the leadoff show on next Wednesday. So looking forward to being at the State Fair, and we'll be there on Thursday when all this breaks. I don't know. I'm getting frustrated. I'm reaching my point of they're probably just going to sit here with Danny Jansen, get some reliever that is like a third setup guy on a team somewhere, not even a closer, and then say, okay, we're good. Now we're ready to go win a World Series. We went for it. And I'm just going to be like, 2 thumbs down. That sucked. And hopefully they're good hopefully they're right. Listen, I'm not rooting against them. I want them to go win a World Series. And if they can win a World Series by sitting on their hands at the trade deadline outside of a backup catcher, then again, I'm sorry. I hope maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Danny Jansen will win the NLCS and send us to the World Series. And the phone lines will let us, Sparky, you were wrong. That was the best move ever. Cool, I'll take it, right? Throw eggs, whatever you want to do. But I find it hard to believe Danny Jansen is the key to the World Series.
Probably not. I think the only team I can really think of is where that was the case was like the 2016 Cubs. I always go back to them. But David Ross and Miguel Montero were huge parts of that team in their World Series run. I mean, I just don't feel like Danny Jansen has that same kind of vibe for this team.
Furthermore, how about this? How about Pat Murphy and talking about William Contreras yesterday? Pat Murphy. Here, I'm going to get the damn quote. I was livid with this quote from Pat Murphy. Like, I could not believe this quote. We went to try and find the audio. We don't have it. Here it is. Murphy says William Contreras' workload won't change. Quote, for the finger he's had for 2 years? What are we going to do about it? Are we going to have him have surgery? When he hits it, it hurts. If he plays less, what are you saying? It's not going to go away by resting. End quote. That's from Kurt Hogue on Twitter yesterday. Folks, that is absolutely 1,000% inexcusable. If he had an issue with this damn thing prior to the incident earlier this year, and that was an issue already, and if surgery is the way to fix it, how is that not done in the offseason? How are we playing through it again in year 2 of this? Somebody please explain to me why that didn't get fixed if surgery fixes it. Murphy says, rest ain't gonna fix it. He just has to deal with it. What do you want him to do, have surgery? Yeah, actually, it would have been nice. You had months off for him to have surgery on the finger if that would have fixed it. How in the world does that not get fixed in the offseason?
No idea. With today's modern medicine, the accessibility to all of these different doctors for each professional sports organization should be real easy of a fix.
Real easy of a fix. Here's a side never skip breakfast. Again, Wendy's breakfast biscuits are just $1. Your choice of a buttermilk biscuit with grilled sausage or bacon with egg and melted cheese, or even the honey buddy with juicy chicken and maple honey butter. For just $1, you can't go wrong unless you forget to add the delicious seasoned potatoes, or the warm fluffy French toast sticks, or even the ooey gooey cinnamon. Come on, start your day the right way with Buck Biscuits at Wendy's, and don't look back. Limited time only. Looking ahead, we will get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. We broadcast live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Steve Sparky Fifer here. Don't forget, 5 o'clock, the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wirtz, 90 minutes coming up today as we get you ready for Game 2. Priester versus Colin Ray tonight at American Family Field. Get starting lineups. I believe Andrew Wagner will join as well as we go inside the clubhouse. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say from today's goings-on For instance, Danny Jansen, you'll hear from him on today's leadoff show. Hear from Pat Murphy from before the game as well. So should be a great time coming up later today starting at 5 o'clock. Then tomorrow, it's an afternoon game. So tomorrow, 1 o'clock starts, so a noon leadoff show. But speaking of tomorrow, the Potawatomi Sportsbook has got a deal for you. The Brewers Cubs at home tomorrow, and Potawatomi will help get you there. Potawatomi Sportsbook opens at 10 a.m. on game day, and with any same-day sports bet or sportsbook dining purchase, you'll get a wristband and shuttle right to the stadium. Visit Potawatomi.com for more information. Bet above the rest. I'm telling you, go there, have some brunch. They have brunch all day. Have some brunch, maybe have some wings, a burger, whatever the case may be. Have some. They have pastries that are homemade, desserts homemade every day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That'll get you a wristband and get right on. You're like, man, I don't know. I was going to eat at the stadium, blah, blah, blah. All right, man, no problem. Go over there. Maybe grab yourself a beverage. Maybe make a bet, same day bet on something going on that day in the sports world. The gambling kiosks are right there in the sports book. Get a wristband, get on the shuttle, go over there, and they'll get you a ride back. Telling you, man, that's where you're going to want to be. Potawatomi Sportsbook tomorrow. Take advantage. That way you don't got to pay $25, $30 in order to park at American Family Field, Charlie. It makes good sense to me.
A lot of sense. There's no better deal around.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on The Fan.
All right, here we go. Charlie, using top 3 clips. What do you got?
All right, first up today, we are going to hear from Matt LaFleur, Packers head coach, during his press conference before practice today, updating everybody on Marshawn Lloyd's injury status.
All my task. I start by...
That's not it. I'm not sure who
kind of working through it right now, but it's unfortunate, you know.
It was early, but how was he looking?
He was doing great. It's just, you know, you'd like to have him out there. He's a guy that needs that experience, and unfortunately has had to fight through a lot of adversity.
Man, it wasn't the way Brian said it. Wasn't necessarily the hit from Hobbs.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you never really know, but it did look like he stuck his foot in the ground, and he never put it back in the ground when he had an opportunity to. So that would lead me to believe that it happened prior to the hit.
Non-contact, not good. Mike Clemens was on this show yesterday at 4 o'clock. If you missed that, go back, listen to it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at, whether it be Odyssey, iHeart, TuneIn, Apple, whatever the case may be. Go back, listen to it there. But Mike Clemens said when Hobbs went to hit him, both his knees buckled and he just went down, which is very unusual for a running back to go down just like that, like I don't know what you would call it, but to go down that way. So then you hear, and we'll hear more from Brian Gutekunst coming up at 4, but when you hear that description of non-contact, it all makes sense after hearing Mike Clemens describe it yesterday on the show.
Yeah, it sounds really unfortunate. For a guy that has gone through this time and time again, other unfortunate injuries and illnesses and everything in between, This is just the worst possible end.
No doubt about it. All right, Charlie, what's clip 2?
Next up here, we're going to head over to the Dan Patrick Show, where Bryce Harper it was reported that a week ago when Rob Manfred visited the Phillies clubhouse, Bryce Harper told him to exit the clubhouse in not a very nice way after Manfred had discussed with the team about salary cap possibly being implemented into the MLB. Dan Patrick had a few words on how he saw Bryce Harper's outburst.
That's embarrassing for Bryce Harper. It really is. You know, you got your players are there. The commissioner at least came in to talk to the players. And then you're gonna react that way instead of being mature. Instead of saying to Rob Manfred, let's talk about this. Or maybe the commissioner should have given Bryce Harper a heads up and said, "Hey, I'm going to bring this up. What do you think?" And then Bryce Harper might have said, "Don't bring it up. Don't bring that in here. It's not going to go well." But I give the commissioner credit. He's at least trying to talk to the players, and is there going to be a work stoppage? Can you get a salary cap? How many owners would be in favor of that? The players aren't in favor of that. I certainly understand that. But for Bryce Harper to act that way, like, who are you? I mean, you got your money. You're good. Maybe you're fighting for everybody else. I understand that. But this is the commissioner of the game. He's at least talking to you.
I don't agree. Okay, so first off, yes, I agree. Bryce Harper should be F-bombing the commissioner and being up in his face and telling him to get the F out and whatever he was saying. To Manfred's standpoint, he didn't move and then expletive dropped back at him and told him he wasn't getting out. Too bad, and he wasn't going anywhere. Castellanos trying to play peacemaker. He's like, I got some more questions. Try to stop it. So we didn't really need to talk about this much. We never got to it yesterday. We're going to get to it on Think Sparky Missed. We never got to it. This is my thing. In all of this isn't trying to hammer out a new CBA inside each clubhouse while the damn season is going on, and these guys are trying to win and lose games, and you're coming in there before a game or something to talk to them while they're trying to get ready to go play a game, and then you want to distract them with this nonsense? With all due respect, I agree with Bryce Harper. Like, don't bring that in here during the season. You want to have this conversation in spring training? Fine. We can have the conversation in spring training. But we are not having a conversation before we're about to go out on the field. This is the completely wrong time to do this. You want to come in here and sit and talk and ask us what you all can do better as far as road accommodations, scheduling issues that you may have as far as how the schedule is set up. You don't like playing, I don't know, whatever their issues might be. Fine. You have complaints about how your team is treating you in the clubhouse or things that they should be doing for you that they're not doing for you that other teams do. That type of stuff. Cool. Now, if somebody in that club brings it up, Rob Manfred needs to answer the question. But he can't come in leading with, let's talk about salary cap, or however he brought it up. Absolutely. That's a complete no-go. That is the wrong way to approach this and the wrong way to go about doing this. And then, you got him talking about Bryce Harper. We'll miss 162 games. I fully believe that they will miss 162 games if that's something that they want to do. And to Dan Patrick's point of, who are you? Well, Dan Patrick, he's one of the faces of baseball, even if he is older now. He's worth a ton of money and has a huge influence over others in the sport right now, does Bryce Harper. There's not a lot of outspoken dudes in Major League Baseball last time I checked. You don't got a bunch of LeBron James walking around Major League Baseball right now. And as we know in basketball, the top of the food chain controls those CBA talks. And it's going to be no different here. The top of this food chain is going to control these talks too. And if you all want to play hardball to try and get a salary cap, I would not be surprised if there was no baseball season in 2027, Charlie.
I wouldn't be surprised either. This is really where it looks like all this is leaning towards. I think with some of these other things happening with sports gambling around the sport as well right now, there's going to be a lot of discussions about a lot of things that are going to halt the entire league, and it's going to be a big deal.
And we start coming up with some topics for 27, so there's no baseball. It's going to be a long summer. All right, what else you got?
All right, and last up here, staying in the baseball world, yesterday during the Brewers and Cubs game, it was announced that MLB legend Ryne Sandberg had passed away at the age of 65. Cubs legend, although he was a Cubs player, he was still a legend of the game. Tim Kirkjian on ESPN paid tribute to the great Ryne Sandberg.
He is one of the greatest defensive second basemen of all time. He won 9 Gold Gloves, second only to Roberto Alomar's 10. Sandberg once held the record for the most consecutive games without an error, 123, by a second baseman, covering 584 chances. No second baseman was better at making the turn on the double play than vanishing before a base runner could crush him. Sandberg became an offensive force in 1984 when Cubs manager Jim Fry convinced him to pull the ball as often as possible.
That was definitely a turning point for me, and I just feel like I've learned what he was talking about. Things have come together the last few years as far as swinging for power.
Sandberg won the National League MVP that year, which included what is known as the Sandberg game.
In a left center field and deep, this is a tie ball game.
On June 23rd against the Cardinals, he went 5 for 6 and hit game-tying homers in the 9th and 10th inning against brilliant closer Bruce Sutter.
Look out! Do you believe it? It's gone!
Leading the Cubs to a 12-11 victory. In 1990, Sandberg led the NL in homers with 40. He would finish with 282. He also stole 344 bases. He and Hall of Famers Joe Morgan and Craig Biggio are the only primary second basemen in baseball history with 250 homers and 300 steals. Indeed, Sandberg could play the piano and move it too.
And never won a World Series. Never even got to the World Series. And they had a bunch of dudes that could hit over the course of his time in Chicago. They had guys that could pitch too over the course. Rick Sutcliffe was there. There was a bunch of guys that were through there, but they could never, ever get over the hump. Yeah, Sandberg, again, my dad used to work in Illinois and everything else. I never heard a bad word about Ryan Sandberg ever. Ever. I've never heard a bad word about Ryan Sandberg from guys that covered the Cubs back then, people that have know him, have interviewed him, whatever. Everybody always had positive words to say about Ryan Sandberg, and sorry to see him pass. And again, cancer sucks, man, right? Pretty sure we're all on board. All on board with that one. Coming up next, Green and Gold Update, brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.